For me, it was that I didn't know what program could help me do what. So that kind of is what prompted me to say, okay, I just need one mediator and see if I can get help.
Instead of going up, it seemed we were both going down. I was getting ready to give up. I tell you the truth. It's hard for me to give up on something. When I go for something, I go for it. But that was, so the experience again, it was bad. Everything we tried.
It's very difficult to know when you've never been involved in the system what agency does what, and there's so many, and people don't realize how many agencies there are.
Kids need help. There are a lot of kids. I see it here in the valley. Now that I work there in the shop, I see a lot of kids need help. So do the parents. So.
And to find a program like the Wraparound that will help you get all the agencies in line, get everybody on the same page, help with what you need, find what you need, because you can't do it. It's hard to do alone. There's so many systems and so many programs. It's hard to do alone.
In my opinion, the purpose of House Bill 1451 is really to bring together a lot of disparate agencies that are serving the same population to make sure that that population can be served in the best way. And the way that House Bill 1451 is defined, that population is working with youth and families who really are the highest needs, most at-risk youth and families that we all service in our individual organizations. But through House Bill, we're able to do that much more effectively and much more collaboratively throughout a continuum of services. And I've really seen a real emphasis on trying to coordinate and trying to collaborate that was there in little pockets before. There was certainly the intent to do that on a lot of individuals' parts, but there wasn't necessarily a whole agency backing for that within their agency. So now I think the difference that I've seen is that all of DHS or all of Probation or all of TUCASA or all of the different organizations that are involved in House Bill, all of those organizations now are trying to work towards that same goal of collaboration.
We have story after story about families who are struggling and being pulled in multiple directions or didn't know where to go or were falling through gaps, and they got their needs met because of the hard work of the collaborative partners around the table and the staff, and you can't really put a dollar amount on that kind of success. I think families can be really encouraged in the San Luis Valley right now if they knew everything that was happening behind the scenes to create a seamless continuum of service and support for them. I think they would be tremendously excited and supportive of what the process means.
Each agency has, policies in place or protocol, and sometimes things that seem appropriate for one agency just don't make sense to another agency, and how can we get together and figure out what are those obstacles or barriers, and what we can and cannot do with juveniles. I mean, within the criminal realm, there's certain things that we absolutely have to do or cannot do. And I feel with this process that each agency is involved and we talk about those barriers and come up with more creative ideas as to get past what's going on with that juvenile and their family.
The biggest result I see is that we're building an infrastructure that is going to look at our outcomes. What kind of services do we have? Sustainability in a more comprehensive, stable way than we ever have before. We're also working with different agencies in a way that we probably get more feedback faster, so we can look at how to improve things.
It's a wraparound process, literally. You're wrapping services around a family, but it's not only services. I think you're nurturing a need for the family. Talking about this child, including the parents, including the child, we would have had a lot more success. It is the one process, and I'm a real cynic about processes and programs, but it is the one process that I have found that really works, because the key to this process is communication. Communication and letting the family have their voice and being heard.
From the probation standpoint, I really saw it as an opportunity to sort of bridge some of those gaps, to move away from a disjointed traditional approach. I would have kid do do this perhaps to accomplish something for probation, and then we would learn that he or she was also required to do something very similar for another agency. And in my mind, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. Some of my colleagues talk about the numbers of years they've worked in the system and how with the onset of 1451, it's really improved the relationships between agencies.
I think in our area of the valley, because we have county agencies and then regional agencies that serve regional areas, not just one county, working together makes so much more sense and is really a better use of our time.
A lot of times they may not be successful because they're asked to do too much at once. So by creating and opening the 1451 doors, it allowed the agencies to come together and to be able to provide the services for the clients at one stop shopping, and then to decide, okay, what we'll prioritize, where do we need to start, and how are we going to move forward.
Rio Grande County has only been part of the House Bill 1451 for a year. Our decision was made to join the efforts in order to increase our collaboration with our partners. We saw the successes that Alamosa and Canesa County were having and wanted to see what it would do to benefit the clients of Rio Grande County.
I didn't trust anybody. I was tired of hearing what everybody else thought I should do. When I got into this process, it immediately showed me that it was what myself and my family knew we needed, and we were able to voice that. And from that point, it really made a difference. There's no magic potion to help everybody, but of course, the help of the process and the agencies and the help, and the effort on the family. I think with those two together, yes, any family that puts their efforts and accepts the help on the other side can succeed.
It's time to start doing business differently, and that means we have to listen to the families. We can't assume we're going to make some terrific changes without having those families telling us very honestly, and us being able to listen to them, what changes need to be made. Otherwise, we'll just go in circles. Agencies have recognized we can't keep doing business the way we've always done business. That although that might feel good for us in our systems because it's simple and it's what we've always done, it's not really good for our families.
It might be hard to see how you fit in or what the benefit will be to the families that you're working with. But if you give this a shot, if you really sit down and try collaboration out, even though it's messy, even though it's conflictual, even though it means you have to give up some of your autonomy, it really can give you a lot more benefit for the family that you're working with. When we're doing this kind of work, it sometimes takes time. It might take a little bit more of your time to get involved with this family throughout a collaborative process where everybody's coming to the table, where the family has a voice in determining what's going to happen with their situation. That might take longer, but the outcome is going to be better. And you will enjoy that outcome a lot more, seeing that family on the street a year from now in a better situation, in a better spot. That will be the benefit to you as a service worker.